honestly,
Yeah.
we had no idea what to expect. We
Yep.
were like, what is our goal of how many to sell? Honestly, I think we underestimated it. That's why we had to do multiple batches and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's just been something, I'll just say, like, we're very, very grateful for. It's felt like just really cool to have
Yeah,
that
it's been
growth
fun.
and being able to connect with other people and new people and stuff. So
Hey, 1 Degree fam. I'm Nathaniel.
And I'm Zan, and this is the 1 Degree Podcast, where we talk about what it looks like to be married as followers of Jesus.
Look, we know that life gets full. Marriage, kids, work, church, sports, the list goes on and on. But we believe that a thriving marriage does not happen by accident.
Each episode will give you real conversations, practical tools, and biblical encouragement to help you connect deeply with your spouse and live on mission together.
So, whether you're folding laundry, driving to work, or maybe even working out, we're glad you're here with us.
Let's dive in.
what is up, 1 Degree?
Fam.
I just wanted a dramatic pause.
What is up, fam? Welcome back to the comfy, cozy, virtual leather couch. We are happy to have you here today, where we're doing a little chill episode. We're going to sit back, relax, and talk about the things that we've been loving lately.
Context for this, we recently, as in a day or two ago, did a survey that you may have seen if you're on our email list or following us on Instagram. And part of it was asking for, like, give one podcast topic that you definitely listen to. And it was really cool to see. I always love to actually hear what do people want to hear us talk about rather than, guessing. But as we were going
A
through,
woman of the people.
oh, yeah. As we were going through, one of them was like, I just want to hear things that you guys are liking lately. And we were like,
And Zan was like, check, that one's easy. We'll do that one.
Yeah, honestly, selfishly, I was like, that's fun. Sure. I told Nathaniel, I was like, okay, one, we're just getting back in town. Like, this is a good one. So, like, on the practical level, this is a good one.
Yeah.
This is like, okay, we can do this. We don't have to, pour over theological insights in order to put this together.
Over. This
Pour
episode
over.
brought to you by the pour over.
Okay, actually, fun fact, that's like kind of why it's called that. Like, it's a pun with the idea of pouring over and pour over, like people like their coffee.
I know the pour over coffee.
Yeah, but pour over is spelled differently.
Yeah.
Like the idea of pouring over your Bible is not P-O-U-R.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the pour over is P-O-U-R.
Yes, because it's a pour over coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So it's after the coffee.
And it's a pun for the pour. Anyway, guys, sure, this is brought to you by the pour over. If you didn't know, that's my day job. I'm a writer for the Pour Over. If you haven't heard the Pour Over, it's an unbiased Christian news source. Back to what we were talking about.
This episode isn't actually brought to you by the pour over.
It's not.
We're
Maybe
just
that's
going
like a
down.
conflict. Maybe I'm going to lose my day job. Just kidding. What were we saying? Oh, okay. This is an easy topic. Maybe we need to do better with having structured topics because this is what happens. But the other thing was, I genuinely enjoy listening to this. Maybe this is a personality thing, but I love an episode of people's just like favorite things. Like, it's not necessarily in their niche if I listen to one parenting podcast, but if they just talk about things they're liking in general, I'm like, I like these people in general. I don't need to hear only parenting things from them. I want to hear just in general. I'm a big podcast girl, though. So in general, I feel like I know my favorite podcast hosts and I care what they eat for breakfast. That's just a thing about me. Another sponsor. Just kidding. Not a sponsor, but Olipop, if you'd like to sponsor me. If you're not watching the video, this makes no sense.
This doesn't at all. People are probably really confused listening right now because I think the vast majority of people just listen.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is you know what? That's going down another rabbit trail.
Okay, yeah. Let's stay on this straight and narrow.
Yeah.
Since we've
Let's
really been
follow
there.
in the words of Jesus and stay on the narrow path.
Okay, so we're going to do this just vibes, things we're loving. I asked Nathaniel, I called him on his way. He comes home for his lunch break to record these, and I called him on his way home, and I was like, do you know what you're going to say you've been liking? And he said, I'm just going to see what comes out of my mouth. And so that's his context. I have a note in my phone with 6-ish, 7. I don't know if I'll get through them all. Okay.
So do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. one of the things I've been loving lately is Little Pilgrim's Progress. And this is kind of ironic, actually. I'm not a huge fan of the original Pilgrim's Progress.
Interesting. The John
Yeah.
Bunyan
Yeah, I read it 2
for
years
seminary.
ago. Yeah, I read it 2 or 3 years ago now, probably 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
And I remember having, maybe that was my problem, is I had really high expectations because
It
it
is
was
such a
like,
classic.
it's like a classic, one of those books that like a lot of Christians read, and obviously, you know, was, I think, written back in the 1600s, 1700s originally.
I don't know.
And it was written a long time ago, and a ton of Christians have read it throughout the last hundreds of years. And so I had these really high expectations. And then I read it and I was like, this is good. And I like some of the imagery and everything like that. But I don't know, for a story, it was just really, in my opinion, it was really heavy-handed
That's
with a lot of the
exactly what I was going to
references.
say. When I was like imagining, I haven't read the original. I've read Little Pilgrims, and obviously I'm reading it through the lens of, okay, this is for my 4 and 5-year-old right now. But it is extremely heavy-handed, so I was imagining it's probably that if it's adapted
And
from them.
that's what it was for me. It was just like super heavy-handed, which again maybe was what made it so popular. Is
Like
that
there wasn't
like
a whole lot of interpretation
issues or anything like that, and like people could just read it straightforward and know what it was referring to. So maybe that's the reason it was so popular.
Versus like Narnia even is a little bit more abstract.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. And so, but with that being said, I have loved Little Pilgrim's Progress, and I think that it's been so good.
It's the Lithos Kids version. I think there's a few different adaptations of Pilgrim's Progress, because I know when we were talking to our friends, they pictured one with like a bunny on the cover. These are like cloth covered. Lithos Kids is the publisher. So if you want to look it up. Again, not sponsored. None of these are sponsored things. But yeah.
Yeah,
maybe I'll link.
You know, this is genuine because we are not getting anything from these. We just genuinely love these things.
I am saying this so I remember to do it, but I'll put a list of all of the things that are actual things in the whatever it's called, description, show notes. I don't know if it's really show notes, but yeah, I think it's the description.
But yeah, I think that the heavy-handedness means it's like great for kids, because then like, and what I love about it is at the end of each chapter, there's this little summary and then there's a couple of questions. And it's been so cool to see for Emery and Verity specifically of like they're following along.
When we were reading, they're like, that sounds like Jesus. I'm like, I think you're exactly
and like the
right.
celestial city, and talking about like the burden like that he's carrying being sin, and the girls are being able to understand that and see that. So that's just been really cool to do with them. And Emery now is at an age where she's able to read completely on her own. And so there's 2 versions, because there's Christian and then there's the girl version. I forget. There's like
is the second one?
Yeah, I think
a
it's
girl?
like, yeah, I think so.
Oh, I haven't read the second one. She's had it. She's been reading it herself.
But she's what I meant, like she's been reading it herself, like that second version, which has been really cool.
Yeah, I haven't even looked. Is it like Christina or something maybe? I don't know. The other thing I will say about that reading Little Pilgrim's Progress, I think just it's to books in general, or just discipleship materials in general. I remember when I started reading it with the kids and doing the questions, and I was telling you, it's amazing what kids are like. You need to overestimate what kids are capable of. Like, I wouldn't have thought our 4 and 5-year-old could sit down and listen to this and get something out of it and answer these questions, and it doesn't feel stuffy. Like we've done it over dinner, we've done it
bedtime.
Yeah, and it has been so fruitful. And even when I was out of town the other weekend, I came home and you had been saying, do you want to be like passion or impatient? Or passion or patience?
Passion or patience.
Because those were, some of the characters in the story. And it's like, we can apply that to life. And so anyway, there's so many solid discipleship tools for kids out there as far as publishers and just companies and brands doing really, really cool stuff.
I will add that I've been convicted just going through it again. Even though it's a resource that's made for kids, but it like makes me reflect and evaluate and everything like that.
Yeah. Of just like, what does the Christian, like, what are we called to? What is the life that we're called to? So yeah, if you don't know, did we talk about like, what is the Pilgrim's Progress in general? In like one sentence, what is the storyline? Did we already say it?
What do you mean?
It's basically like Christian is journeying out of the city of destruction, aka the earthly ways, to the celestial city of heaven. And then it's like all the trials along the way and all the people that are telling him not to do it. And so it's that allegory of a Christian's pursuit of eternal life, essentially. So it's cool. Okay. I put Nourish, Move, Love workouts. I feel like I've talked about this on here, but when I think about things I'm loving, that's just such a consistent in my life. So yeah, not an ad, but I do those every single morning. Do them in my living room because we don't have.
Fun fact, Zan's about to be on one.
That's true. In exactly a week. So the day after this launches, I will be in Minnesota recording one. That is part of my
day job.
For my day job, which also doesn't make sense. It's a whole thing. There's a partnership there, and my friend and I, my coworker and I, are
boss.
my boss, whatever.
My friend, my coworker.
My boss and I
I can't imagine calling my boss just like, oh yeah, my friend, my coworker.
That's because my day job is superior to your day job. I'm just kidding.
Like my job.
I know. But anyway, we're gonna be on that, so that's fun. But apart from that, I genuinely have loved the workouts for like 3 years, and we talk. I mean, Nathaniel does them too, and we talk about this a lot of you lowering the barrier of entry for your fitness keeps you so much more consistent. Like, I love the gym. There was a season when we first moved here when we were at the gym every day for multiple hours because he was in seminary. We were kind of just like doing things from home, and our life was more flexible. I'm queen of you make time for what you care about. Like, I don't like the I don't have time excuse, but like if I evaluate my day, something serious would have to get cut in order for me to go to the gym, and that's not worth it to me. Like, I can maintain the same level of fitness
doing
at
it
home.
Yeah.
The key, I will say with this, is making sure you get heavy enough weights because I feel like a lot of times your home workouts aren't challenging enough if you're not buying the heavy weights, like 20, 25, whatever.
And that's
plus.
for me. A lot of times I'll do like the upper body stuff here at home. But if I really want to lift heavy legs,
like 35 pounds.
I typically go to the gym once or twice a week to really focus on hitting like heavy legs.
And I will say also, we very much do not have, I was talking about this last night.
Yeah.
Of just like our house, every single room, it feels like serves 7 functions right now. We're just really pushing it to its limits as far as running a business from it. And working out. Everything I do is from the home, hosting, all those things. But don't use that as an excuse. You don't need a garage gym. We don't even have a garage. You don't need a room. I literally use our living room. In the corner, we have a dumbbell rack. It's slightly behind the couch, so it's not a focal point, but it's there. It's not hidden. People know it's there.
Yep.
And you know what? Part of that is what keeps us consistent because it's not having to, like, it's there. Like, I can see it, and it's not a big hassle to get things out. And so, anyway, I have loved those workouts. I feel like I am obviously the oldest I've ever been, and I have now 3 kids and have gone through 3 pregnancies, and I feel like I'm in the best shape that I've ever been in. Maybe not cardio because in this season of life, it's hard to run. That's the thing that we've been talking about. I'm like itching. I really want to run, but daylight hours, I am with the children. And because our days are so short right now, as far like physically outside, they are so short, and I don't feel comfortable running in the dark. It's a whole thing. But maybe not cardio wise, but strength wise, I know for a fact I'm the strongest I've ever been. Like, I can do more. So anyway, this is my plug for.
I will agree with that. You can do a ton more, but there is one thing you still cannot do.
A pull up. Unassisted pull up. I need to up my kids are passing me because we leave the pull up bar up a lot of times, and they've been like practicing them. It's humbling, guys. My lats, that is my by far weakest, and I'm working just not hard enough at it.
You got it. By the end of the year.
You think?
Oh, I should message Lindsay and be like, do a pull-up workout when you're there.
I thought about that this morning because I've just been feeling, coming back from being out of town, even though I did like the resistance bands workout, I'm like feeling weak. Like, push-ups and stuff are hard. I was like, if she has us doing push-ups or pull-ups, what will I do? Like, I'm going to have to do it, but it's going to be so humbling, and it's going to be on the internet for a lot of people. Anyway, okay, so that was Nourish, Move, Love workouts. I specifically, I'm sorry, we're talking a lot, but I specifically love these because they're super strength focused. They're not easy. They're not. Wipe out of your head whatever you think about home workouts. Like, again, if you're using the right weights, if you do them with 10 pounders, well, maybe if that's your starting place. But like, if you're using lighter weights, sure, you might get through it without breaking a sweat. But if you're pushing it where it's like hard by the time you're at the end of a set, and it's like hard to get your arm up, they're not easy. And the other thing is, it's not like bust those muffin tops and saddlebags. Like, women's YouTube workouts in the past have been so cringe and just like aesthetically focused. And never do I ever hear her say anything about aesthetics. She's ripped and like, it could be about aesthetics,
Yeah.
but it's always about functional strength. Anyway, okay, that's my last. Go, Lindsay. Go, Nourish, Move, Love.
I will say they're really good and they're not easy. Okay, so for me, the next thing that I have been loving, and this is ironic because so we were out of town, we were in Florida, and when we left, there was no snow, the lakes were not frozen over or anything like that. We go to Florida, it was sunny and 80 every day. We come back, there's a foot of snow, all the lakes are frozen, all that kind of stuff. We picked the perfect week to be out of town. And coming back, though, it's been really fun being in the snow and playing in the snow with the kids, and they like going sledding, and we'll go to my parents' house and bring them sledding. And it makes you appreciate having all 4 seasons is tough. And having a cold winter is really tough, where the sun rises late and it sets early, and it is dark when I leave for work and it's dark when I come home from work. Like, that's very difficult. And just you step outside and it's 10 degrees and it's, -5-degree wind chill. It just sucks sometimes. But with all of that being said, I think that it forces you to appreciate the nicer weather. Like, it makes you long for spring and summer, and it makes you like, oh, when it is summer, you're like, oh, I want to get outside and enjoy this because I know that winter is coming. I know that this will not last forever. I remember when we were visiting friends in San Diego, it would be a beautiful day outside and hardly anyone would be outside just because it was like that every single day, and you just started to take it for granted.
For sure.
Versus here in Wisconsin, you very much do not take things for granted when it comes to the weather because you won't have it for a long time.
Yeah, that's something we talk about. Like, the winters are long,
Yeah.
like 6 months, but we say
Not 6 months. I would say like a solid 4 to 5.
I'd say November through May.
No, November's not winter. That's still fall.
It's cold.
December through like December, January, February, March. 4 months.
I'd say April and May are still
April
pretty chilly.
is still it's chilly, but it's
just
not
a different
winter.
spring. You're not thinking flowers.
Sunshine and rainbows and flowers.
That's what I think of in spring. Is like t-shirts and
39
flowers.
and raining.
Yeah, that's winter, okay? Like, if you're from south of Mason-Dixon, that is winter.
Okay.
Anyway, but the 4 seasons, there's just something about, and maybe it's a coping mechanism, but we've really just tried to lean into how do we embrace the season? And for me, we were even just saying this the other day, Nathaniel loves playing outside with the kids. If I'm being really honest, I don't think as a child I liked playing outside in the snow. We would snowmobile and like do sledding, and those kind of things were fun, but just playing in the snow, for me, it feels like you're just getting wet and cold in a different substance. I don't know, a different environment. And so, or just, I don't know, existing in a different environment and getting wet and cold while doing it, I guess is more what I was trying to say. And so I was saying, like, okay, how do we lean into that? Like, obviously I'll play outside with the kids some at times, but like him embracing playing with them and me embracing having hot cocoa and having like warm bread and those kind of things that I love doing inside. And so, yeah, leaning into it's sourdough and soup season, and it's, cozy drinks
by the fire and
fires and candles and worship nights when it's dark at 4:30 and leaning into those things. And I will say I kind of enjoy the late sunrise from the standpoint of we always wake up super early, but in the summer it's like, well, the sun's kind of getting up with me at 5:00. But now I feel like I've really beat the day because like I've accomplished so much before the sun even comes up. And so there's perks to every season if you kind of look. It's all about mindset.
What it is about mindset of you have to try to make the best out of every situation.
For sure.
And as my old boss used to say, what's the difference between a good day and a bad day?
Your attitude.
Your attitude. And
love
so
being told that when I'm in a bad mood.
The mindset that you have when it comes to winter or difficult situations is going to shape how you work through that difficult situation or the cold winter or whatever it may be.
Okay, a quick one that I put down. Christmas music in the background of our day. I ask our friend Alexa to put that on. Sometimes I'm feeling, if I'm a little more overstimulated, I do instrumental, not acoustic. Made the mistake of saying acoustic yesterday, and it was still people talking. It was just guitars and pianos. But yeah, or if we're feeling fun, we'll do like the new Grinch soundtrack. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch by Tyler, the Creator. It's a bop. Asher gets
Greasy black peel.
It's so fun, and Asher gets
bad banana.
So hype when we turn it on. Anyway, it's just fun. It's like I have found that it kind of is into that what I was talking about of leaning into the season, I feel like it just makes my house kind of feel like a cozy coffee shop if I have light background music on in the main area. And so, yeah, a simple thing that maybe you could try. Put it on your TV, like, where it's like a Christmas tree scene and it has some Christmas music. It's just good vibes. Those little oxytocin perkers.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Okay, do you have another one?
Yeah, I've got another one. I've got 2 more. See? The stuff that's coming out of my mouth.
Your little thought cooker up there is cooking.
So the first one I would say the orange dark chocolate from Aldi. Just loving that.
What is that brand? Do we know?
I don't even know. Mozart?
That sounds
M-O-S-E-R-T?
That sounds right-ish.
It's like
Aldi, this is a hack. Aldi is where it's at for chocolate because it's German. The company is German. And their chocolate is high quality and not that expensive.
Aldi is where it's at in general.
For a lot of things. Yeah. But it's like people think Aldi and they think just like cheap budget stuff. I don't know why, because I feel like you've never been to Aldi if that's the case, because they have so much like good organic stuff. But their chocolate is fair trade. So it's not even slave labor over in wherever.
I think they have non-fair trade.
They do. But this one brand that we're talking about. But they do have a lot of fair trade options, I think.
Yes, they do.
This was a big thing for us. I remember in college, we were really big about, and I mean, we still kind of are, but that was like when we first discovered it, of the importance of fair trade cocoa. But
yeah, so there's this one brand that's just
chocolate
like
almond.
The dark chocolate with orange. No, it's not.
It's orange almond.
Oh, it's orange almond?
We don't really taste the almond.
I taste the orange. It's really good. And then I listened to a podcast episode that said dark chocolate's good for you, and it's my excuse to eat like a whole sleeve of them.
There was a Diary of a CEO podcast that had this like
longevity food guy.
Yes, but he was like a microbiology. He was like a cancer researcher.
Yes.
And he had like the 5 most cancer-fighting foods, essentially. I mean, kind of clickbaity, but he was talking. They're essentially like very antioxidant rich and stuff. And
pomegranate seeds, like that. Yeah, kind of stuff.
edamame was on there, or soybean was on there, which is so interesting.
And then dark chocolate was
dark chocolate, and
so
literally,
like, let me go
guys,
ham.
Yeah, I'm not lying. He bought like 10, not just bars, but like packages of 6 bars. Right after that, I was like, this is not what they meant. Like, this still has sugar, and that is fuel for whatever. But, yeah, it's good. And I think if you are a friend in real life, you've probably heard this. Like, we make people try this chocolate at our house. If we see it you're like over for dinner and we open our cabinet and realize we have some left, which is rare because he eats. Nathaniel is not a very, I wouldn't say not having self-control. You are when you want to. But when it comes to like treats, you are a treat guy.
I like treats.
In a high quantity. So if we have chocolate, it's usually gone. Or it's usually quickly gone. But anyway, you've probably tried it if you've come to our house. Okay. Oh, this isn't something I'm like enjoying necessarily, but something I'm working on, which made me think maybe this is a different podcast episode. Like we could do like our 2026 goals or like.
So how is it something you're loving if you're not doing it? Okay,
listen. Working on my sleep. You've heard me talk about this. Yeah. This is like the thing that I'm shifting my focus on. It's like, okay, I feel like I'm in a really good
2 years ago, I used to get yelled at for wanting to take naps.
I'm not trying to nap. I'm trying to work on the quality of my sleep. And so, because I've just felt, I'm like, I prioritize health in so many areas of life. Like, I care a lot about what I eat. I care a lot about being consistent in my workouts. Like, I feel like I've kind of gotten on top of those. Like, those are things that I just have down. But sleep is the one area, and I don't stay up super late, but I do wake up really early, and I don't think I go to bed consistently early enough to like offset that or like make it where that's healthy for me versus like hard. And like we're still in the very unpredictable, like it's hard. I'm kind of holding it open-handedly because our kids still wake up, not like consistently, but kids will sometimes just pop in, like the older kids, and then the baby's still, he's not really a baby, he's toddler, 18 months, but I don't know, like he'll go through his stretches where it's like, oh, another rough week. And so, yeah, I feel like I need to do everything in my power to try to make my sleep quality good because I am just a person that needs, ideally, I would have 8 hours a night to be my best self. Like Nathaniel, I feel like you can do 6 hours and just like function well. I get very irritable and it's just very hard for me. And I think it's a sick joke that women in their childbearing years need like the highest level of sleep or like the greatest quantity of sleep that they need in their whole lifetime. Like as you get older.
When their kids nap, they should nap too.
Our kids don't nap. They stop napping before age 2. Okay. But anyway, and how do you do that if you're working? Anyway, there's like a lot wrong with what you just said.
I just meant like you were saying why it's a sick joke
It makes sense. Our bodies are doing the most.
Yeah.
Their reproductive things take a lot of time. But it's like old people, I remember seeing something that's like 5 or 6 hours of sleep on average a night is like, I'm like, what? They have all the time in the world to nap and sleep, and they don't even need it. And we have no time, and we need it.
I
Anyway,
would love a nap right now.
you know,
I just
we
want
were
a
just
nap.
yesterday, we were just like, man, why aren't we in a siesta culture?
Yes,
Like-
I literally said that. As you can tell, like I've brought up naps 4 different times already. I just love a good nap. And since having kids, you do not get naps often with kids.
No, if you
It's
don't have
tough.
kids yet, savor that Sunday nap.
The Sunday nap after church hits hard.
It's like our kid,
We don't
our
get that.
18-month-old will still nap after church unless he falls asleep on the way home from church, and then it's all over. But the older kids don't. And so it's like, well, and they're not old enough yet where we can just peace out totally. Anyway, it's coming. The day will come, and we'll enjoy those naps again.
We will.
Okay, what else? Oh, you have something?
Yeah, I've got something. I would say just my mentality around working out. Just in
Say
general,
more.
I think that especially over the past few months, I've really transitioned into like genuinely enjoying my workouts and enjoying them from like a standpoint of getting to push my body and not like, oh, I want to have bigger biceps or, oh, I want to have a 6-pack or, oh, I want to do this. Like,
It's because you're doing Lindsay's and she's not about aesthetic.
no, but
just
I'm
kidding.
saying, and I haven't been doing much of Lindsay's lately. Like
I know,
I went through a long stretch
I'm
of
just
doing
kidding. We were
hers.
just talking about that mentality. So I was.
But what I would say is like, even from a standpoint of it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, oh man, if I woke up a little late and, I don't have time to go to the gym, like this morning I was planning on going to the gym, but I woke up a little bit later than I wanted to. So instead of being like, it's not perfect, so can't work out.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
so
I
true.
just did a modified upper body workout at home with the weights that we did have. And I was like, I shifted my days around today because today I was going to go to the gym, run, and then sit in the sauna afterwards. But then I was like, okay, and then finish my upper body tomorrow. But I was like, I'll just flip that, do upper body today. And then tomorrow I'll try to get up early, run, and then sauna and everything like that. And I don't know, just that mentality of having it be something that I like pushing my body. I like working hard, and it's not for like I said, it's not for, bigger biceps or a 6-pack or whatever it may be. I just love the feeling of being fit and being healthy and working out. And that's what's been driving. And I think that's what's allowed. This is probably
Most
the
consistent.
most consistent I've been working out probably since we had kids.
Yeah.
Because we had Emery,
that's
and then
true
I
for
had
both of us.
my hip surgeries, and then I
Yeah.
was kind of out of that rhythm, and then I would try to get back into it. And I remember I did Chris Hemsworth's
The center app.
like the center app. I did that for a while, and I was decently consistent, but I still think in that period I was so like vain that once I kind of hit a little like plateau, it was just like, all right, I'm done here. And then I've been consistently working out. I would say the shift happened. This is where I would say the shift happened this past March. I remember going for a run on my lunch break from work, and I hadn't run more than 4 miles in probably 2 years. And I was like, I'm going to try to go 5 today. And I did 5, and it was really hard, and I did it on a trail, and then I went back to work, and I just felt so great about myself. And it was from then, like, it was from that point on of, oh yeah, I remember what I love about pushing my body and running and working out. And basically since
And then you
then,
did the
obviously
Spartan.
I signed up for the Spartan, and I kept my long runs kept getting longer and longer. And then it was so cool for me is I went back to that same trail that I did the 5 miles in March. I went back to it in August, and I did 12, I think. And I remember reaching that point because it's an out and back trail. It's not a loop trail. So I reached that point where I turned around at 2.5 miles in the first time. And I remembered how hard it felt just 4 or 5 months prior. And I was like, I feel so great right now. And then I think that day I had set out to just do 9, and then I did 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And then after that run, I was like, it was just so cool for me to see that progress of, oh man, I'm not doing it for you know, just appearance reasons. I'm doing it because I genuinely love it and I genuinely love pushing my body. And then I did the Spartan race, and I haven't been running. I still am running 3 days a week, but I haven't been running as far with the cold. But yeah, it's just been fun.
Something you were saying that I guess resonate with is that, like, this morning when you woke up and it wasn't the ideal, and so you just did kind of more a makeshift thing. That I also think is key, of like being okay with that. Any workout, the best workout is the one that you're going to do that day. It's not necessarily like this ideal, you know, split training set. If that's not going to get done today, it's not better to just do nothing. And I found that when we were traveling, I didn't want to take time to go to the gym of the house community we were staying, like all this stuff, and like figure out the transportation and all that when we're on family vacation. So when I would get 30 minutes where it's like, okay, everyone's kind of playing right now, or the nap time's happening, I would do a resistance band workout. And every day I said, it's crazy how hard these can be. Like you think you need all this equipment or all this space. I did it at the foot of the bed, and it's just like push-ups and squats and all these types of things. And anyway, so just done is better than perfect. And the consistency is far more important than like what you're doing.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And from my experience. So, okay. I'm trying to think of which one to talk about next. I will say, do you have another one after this?
I can think of more.
No, I mean, I'll just go through the rest of my list kind of quickly because we're already at 30 minutes. But so structured Bible studies have been something that I've been really enjoying lately. It's a sore subject because somehow in the last like week or couple weeks,
You lost it at the Toyota dealership.
Is it there?
So.
I don't know. Why haven't they called me? I lost my Bible and my Bible study. And I'm seriously, like, I know both are replaceable, but I am very upset about it.
This is so funny.
Stop.
I gotta share it.
I know what you're saying.
We are driving home. Where are we driving home from? We're driving home from like the Costco. Maybe it was Costco or something like that.
I don't
Or was it
remember.
when I picked you up from the airport after visiting your sister? That's what
Maybe
it was.
It's that.
I picked you up. It was like 3 weeks ago, picked you up from the airport. We are driving home. It is just silent for like 2 minutes. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, Zan goes, I feel like Job because I have lost my Bible and I have lost my Bible study. And wasn't there one other thing?
No, it's because I had been sitting there thinking like, okay, if a few weeks ago somebody would have asked me for my top possessions, I would have said probably my Bible study, and my Kindle. Like, those are the things I do not want to lose. And I could lose a laptop and it's like, great, I'll just import it all from the cloud. Like, those are the things.
Nathaniel.
No, you're not a possession. You're a human. And so, and I was like, and 2 of those have been stripped from me. And I feel like Job losing his greatest.
Job lost his kids.
I'm obviously completely kidding. It was just that premise of like,
in the moment, it didn't feel like you were kidding.
I obviously was kidding.
The way you brought it up, you were like genuinely distraught.
I think I was
I feel
just
like
kind of leaning into the drama.
I was so concerned when she said that because I was like, whoa, like, what do you mean? Do tell, like, talk about it. I lost my Bible in Bible study, so therefore I'm like Job. And I like busted out laughing. I was like, okay, sorry. I know that sucks, but
I was so sad because I felt so, especially my Bible, I bought it like a year ago. And I got it.
Sorry, I'm just picturing you going to heaven and meeting Job.
No,
and being like,
we have
bro,
so
I
much
can relate.
in common. No, but it was just like a really special possession to me because it was a journaling Bible. And so it's had all of my study and thoughts for the last year. And it's not about the thing. It's more about like the experience of the daily time in it that has been stripped from me. Anyway, I'll stop being dramatic. On a serious note, I've done the Daily Grace Co. studies because I had a bunch on my shelf, and actually a friend came to visit this summer. Shout out Aldi if you're listening. And she was doing one, and I was like, man, I have had those on my shelf for years. I haven't even considered really using them. And so I started, I think, a Haggai one right after she left. It was random that I had it. And that was cool. I was like, man, this Minor Prophet, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, I questioned that. I have gotten more out of this Minor Prophet book than I ever thought I could. And I think we ended up Oh, well, we did a minor prophet series at church, and that's
Yeah.
and I had all my notes in there when
Mhm.
when they were preaching through it, and I was like, I feel like I know this so well. And that was really just a just a kickstart basically for
Yeah.
me to dive back into exegetical study of just going through a book of the Bible verse by verse and getting stuff out of it. And I feel like the structured Bible studies were really helpful for me. Not necessarily, my favorite part isn't the commentary necessarily, though it is cool to go through and see. I find those ones pretty very theologically sound and helpful, but even just the structure forcing me to sit on 3 verses a week or 3 verses a day and think about those versus rushing through it.
Yeah.
There's a place for both. I've done the Bible in a year and stuff, but I feel like I just get a lot out of it when I do those slow things. So yeah, I did a Haggai and then I did a James one. James one was really solid and good. And then I was doing, when I lost it, a Revelation study. It was so cool. Anyway, so structured Bible studies. The next thing I will say is homeschool. I feel like I talk about this a lot too, but it's just so rewarding. We do the most type B homeschool ever. When I see other homeschoolers, I'm like, oh, they'd cringe if they knew what we do. It's just sometimes we'll go a week without actually opening curriculum. Sometimes we'll do a lot of curriculum in a day. It's so relaxed, but we're also flying through it. That's why I'm not concerned. It's we're
Oh yeah, and Emery is ahead of milestones when it comes to reading and all these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, they both I think I do it through the summer. I start them early because they're
Mhm.
interested in it. We started them both at 4 on kindergarten curriculum because they were interested. And I was
Yeah.
like, why not? And then we go through the summer. And it's that because and then sometimes we'll do 3 lessons at a time because they love it and they're interested. To them, it is not a chore. We're not.
Yeah.
I know that's coming, but right now it's fun and it's a fun activity for them. And we're not even doing crafty type stuff because I'm not that brand of homeschool. We're just doing straight curriculum, and they still think it's because I think it's that self or that intrinsic value of they really enjoy learning and they feel
Yeah.
very proud of themselves of wow, I can read this book now or I can read this sentence now. And so that, for me, I never thought of myself as somebody that would super enjoy that. If you would have told me in college to even tinker with the idea of doing elementary education or early childhood education or anything like that, I would have been absolutely not. You have the wrong person. But it, especially when it's your own kids, is just so rewarding and so cool. And kids, again, going back to what we were talking about with the Little Pilgrim's Progress, they're so much more capable than you think. And of course, there are challenges. Some days it's so hard, especially with an 18-month-old. That's a hard age to have around when you're trying to homeschool because he's not just strapped in the baby carrier anymore. He's tricky, but anyway, it's very cool. And if there was one thing that I would want to keep and quit everything else in my life, I would say right now that is homeschool. I'm not interested in doing that necessarily, but if it were, hey, you can do your job, but you need to send your kids to school or anything like that, it's homeschool would be the one thing I really, really feel passionate about keeping, I think.
Yeah.
Is that surprising to you? I feel like we've talked about that.
No, that's
Okay.
not surprising.
The last thing. I forgot I put this on here, but the journal, the weekly marriage meeting journal
I was
launched.
going to say that as my last thing.
Oh, really?
Too.
Okay,
Yeah.
you tell us about it.
Well, I was just going to say, without it trying to be a
Humble
brag, or just to be a sales pitch or whatever.
Oh, that's true.
I've really enjoyed having the physical journal, and we just got it. They just came in, and
they
so we
came
used it
in
for the
while we
first
were on
time.
vacation. Our friend
Yeah.
had to bring in all the boxes.
And he shoveled their driveway.
Shout out to Tim.
Yes,
honestly.
Tim, you're a real one.
The realist.
And so having the physical journal, and it's just been really cool, is giving that official structure to our weekly marriage meeting. And obviously we have the list of questions in there. We also have a little 1 degree shift at the top of each week.
And we're using it now. Yeah. The reason that we obviously want to use it, that we created it as a tool for ourselves, but also we're okay, let's see how this all, let's see what people are seeing as they're experiencing it. And I even forgot we had included on each week because we always go through the same question. But the second to last question is always something random each week. And when you went to ask it asked me, I was like, oh, that's
Yep.
so fun. I'm glad we included that.
Yeah. And so we go through the list of questions. We have the 3 things that we appreciate about each other. High, low, buffalo at the beginning, the list of questions, the 3 things we appreciate. And then we have our mission statement evaluation, our core values evaluation, and then our focus for the next week.
And prayers, yeah.
And we had talked about on a previous one of we were really good about doing the first half of going through and doing, the questions, the 3 things we appreciate. But then a lot of times we would fall off before we got to like the back half of evaluating our mission statement and our core values. And it was just really cool to be able to do it, write it all down. And I'm really excited to be able to look back when we're done and just read through it. And it's been really, really cool. So I love having that physical tool for our marriage.
For sure. And it's just been super cool to see people get it. Like, honestly, we had no idea what to expect. We were like, what is our goal of how many to sell? Honestly, I think we underestimated it. That's why we had to do multiple batches and stuff. And it's just been something, I'll just say, like, we're very, very grateful for. It's felt like just really cool to have that growth and being able to connect with other people and new people and stuff. So okay, so that's a bunch of things that we're
1 degree
enjoying.
shift. 1 degree shift. So I've got one for you.
Interesting.
If you've heard anything about our content or even a little bit, you've probably heard it come through in this episode. We talk about like the big thing that leads to transformation, like true transformation in your life is little changes that are sustained throughout years, 1 year, 5 year, 10 years. And then you look back on the years and you see how much those little things, when you practiced them day in and day out, led to such
massive.
Yeah, show massive magnitude. I was going to say, I don't know, but they lead to incredible change over the years. And so whether it be with, hearing me talk about, working out, or Zan talking about working out, or even with, the homeschool, all of that kind of stuff, it's just little key focuses and consistent rhythms that we have in our lives, or the weekly marriage meeting that we look back and we can point to as providing so much change in our lives and in our marriage. And so for you, I would want you to consider of whether it be something that's physical or spiritual. Zan talking about the Bible study, whether it be physical, whether it be spiritual, whether it be marriage related. What is one small change? What is one degree shift that you can implement in your life today that, maybe you do it one day and it's like, I don't really see anything, a week, a month, and it's like, I see a little bit of change. But then by the time you get to a year, 5 years, you'll look back and be like, I don't know what my life would look like had I not made that decision to just make that small change in my life 5 years ago.
That's true. I feel like we can look back on a lot of things with that mentality. Yeah. I'm going to say this isn't a 1 degree shift, but if this podcast has been encouraging to you, or any podcast has been encouraging you, we don't ever really say this, but it'd be really encouraging for us if you share it, because that's just the number one way to get the podcast before other people and help other couples grow and be intentional in their marriages. So why are you looking at me like that? You hate the shout outs, but
no, I'm fine. Just the way that it was phrased. I don't know. To get it in front of other people.
Well, physically for it to show up on Apple Podcasts. It's like, I hate it. I hate that you got to play the game, but it's like you sharing it is the best way to play that game with us.
And here's what I'll say. Whether it comes to the journal, whether it comes to the podcast, whatever it is that we do, we don't do it just to try to grow. We do it because out of a heart of we genuinely want to serve others. Like that is our prayer. That is what we come back to that question all the time of like, what does it look like to be faithful in our business to serve others? That's something that we ask. And so it's not just about playing this game for growth, but we genuinely hope, we believe, and we hope that the resources that we provide, whether it be through the podcast, whether it be through the journal, genuinely serve people. And so if they have served you, if they have helped you in some way,
should have given this
and
to
then
you.
if you think that it would help to serve others as well, we would really appreciate it if you shared it.
Maybe you record that and put that at the end of every episode. That was a little bit more eloquent.
No.
All right. Catch you next week. 1 degree.
Fam.
There it is.
Love you, 1 degree fam.
Thanks for tuning in for this episode of the 1 Degree Podcast. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And we'd be so appreciative if you take just a few seconds to leave a rating and a quick review. We love to hear your feedback, and those ratings really do help make it easier for others to find this podcast.
And if you want to continue this chat or share your takeaways, we'd love to hear from you. Head on over to our Instagram @the 1 Degree Podcast and leave a comment or send us a DM. We can't wait to hear from you. Catch you next week, 1 Degree fam.